Hey guys, here is Dimitri Wakuf with Mindshift, and today we have an amazing episode with a great person. Um, First of all, for people who haven't been here, Mindshift, the main purpose of Mindshift is to help you create these atomic shifts in your mind so that you can create a life full with happiness, with love, with contentment, and with prosperity. Today, we're going to talk about how we can make these atomic shifts when it comes to faith. The topic today it will be the role of faith in happiness and leadership. And actually, this will be the topic for the month of March. So we're going to have four different subtopics for this, and I'm really looking forward to talk about them and to really untangle this knot called faith and what is and how it can help us in so important areas in our life as leadership and happiness. Um, I'm really excited to introduce you the guest for this topic. For me, the real expert in faith. I know him for 8 years, and we met each other in our coaching training, and we had immediate connection with him, but not like connection which is mind oriented, but heart oriented. And we had this great dinner. We talked. We had real connection. Then we met again within different trainings, models, and stuff. And I knew that we are gonna create something together. And today we are gonna do that with him in this conversation. We're gonna co-create the topic of faith. And just some background of this amazing person. Um, he has a bachelor in linguistics. He has a master degree in psychology. He also the last 20 years he's really working in this human capital management area, and he's been in different roles in the Middle East as consultant and a leader in leading these HR transformations in different large organizations. So many things to you can say for Wada, but I'm gonna give the word to him to if he wants to add something on what I already said, but and how actually he combines his deep faith in God with his amazing work in HR transformation and leadership. So Wada, welcome to Mindshift.
Thank you so much, Dumi, for having me, and thank you for your kind words. I still remember when we first met, when we were going
Yeah.
to the coaching school 8 years ago, 2014 in London, right? Was a very special group there. And I think I still remember the dinner you referred to. We went out with Stoyan. We,
Yeah.
bonded, quite quickly. We got to know each other. The topic of coaching was very fascinating for all of us.
Yeah.
We were, very much learning new things. And you guys were very interested in the story, how I got married. I'm Egyptian, my wife is Romanian, how we met and how this
Yeah.
story went. So I'm glad that we've our relationship has continued, and we continue to exchange expertise and help each other out. I've attended some of your sessions as well, which were
Yep.
magnificent, and I think we share the same interests there. Look, I'm just to qualify it. I'm not an expert on faith. I don't consider myself an expert, but I really felt like I want to speak about that. When you asked me about the topic,
Mm,
because the more we learn, right, about coaching, about leadership, about happiness, about psychology, right, you realize the benefits that of all what we are learning about. So you have, for example, you learn about the benefits of meditation, right?
mm,
The benefits of intermittent fasting, the
mm,
benefits or not of not getting too attached to the material things, right? And all of
mm,
these things, and you say, all right, wait a minute, right? Don't we actually have the foundations of all this, right, in our faith, in our religious teachings, right? So
mm,
it's good to connect both. It's good to actually understand that what we are learning in science is actually confirming right, what our faith
Mm,
is talking about. So because I feel that sometimes people think that science and faith are on a collision course, right? They don't
mm,
meet, but that's not true, and it should not be the case, right? The more we
mm,
learn about these things, and the correct science is actually confirming what we know about these things, having a purpose, for example, having,
mm,
being able to be modest, servant leadership,
mm,
all these,
mm,
concepts that we are learning about, that are coming up, that are being trendy, that are, being popular, they quite have the roots, very much, in religion, right? So that's
mm,
why I thought, right, let's explore this topic, and let's speak about
mm.
it in a little more detail. Maybe that would be, of interest to your viewers.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I'm honestly myself, I'm super interested to hear what you have to say for when it comes to faith. So let's start with the first question we want to untangle about it. Faith.
Yeah.
What is faith, actually?
Yes, very good question. Look, I think the broad meaning of faith is that it's a strong belief in a doctrine based on a spiritual conviction rather than proof, right?
Mm,
So you will see that each of us has got belief in something intangible, something
mm,
beyond the material, right? So, I mean, if you're watching TV today, you will see, the protesters in Russia, for example, who are actually supporting Ukraine, right? You see how, they are acting, and you say, okay, what could be good for them in that, right? They are risking their lives, they are risking their livelihoods, they can actually be put in jail and so on, but they are still doing it, right? They have faith
mm,
in something that is worth it. There is a value there, right? There is some kind of morality and goodness, that they feel in what they are doing, independent of the consequences, right? So that's the broad meaning of faith. And for me, there is also a higher meaning of faith, which is, the belief in a perfect creator, the belief in accountability, the belief in the afterlife, right? The belief in, divine guidance and divine support, right? So that actually goes kind of, beyond life. This is the purpose, right? This is the bigger picture of the whole life. So that's, goes against the notion that, everything is by chance, or, things are going random, and things are happening haphazardly, and all that. So, that's the second level of faith, which is, all right, no, there is a bigger scheme for things, right? There is
mm.
fairness, there is mercy, there's everything, but the issue is we don't see the full picture yet.
Okay. Okay. So as I can understand, this is faith is something which you cannot prove in a way tangibly with something, but you can prove it along the way by just believing in it. So that's
Yes.
that's something which that's one thing which I want to share when it comes to faith. When you said, because for me faith is just you, as you said, I believe in something which I cannot prove. I don't know how is gonna happen, but I know it's gonna, and I know it will come in the right time. That's
Well,
how I
I
feel
think,
it.
yes, I think this is a very good point, Dimi, and we want to clarify this point, because you you are not able to prove it the scientific way, right? You are
Mm,
not able to prove it by observation, by experimentation, by control, right? You are not going to do that for higher values, right? You are not going to do that for the intangible. You cannot prove to someone why something is beautiful, or why something
mm,
is moral, right? So you
mm,
cannot prove it the scientific way, but I'm arguing that we shouldn't limit ourselves to the scientific way, right?
mm,
You actually, we have broader means of acquiring knowledge, right? So we
mm,
have our instincts, we have our intuition, we have our logic, right? So
mm,
how did we know, about God? You can actually, if you walk in a place, right, in a barren place, and see footsteps, right, you can conclude
mm,
that there has been someone here, right? You haven't seen him,
mm,
you haven't, done a laboratory experiment on him, but you can understand that there was something. So we have that logic,
mm,
we have the ability to understand the why, behind things, right? Even if we cannot touch them, right? If you see fingerprints on something, you understand that there has been someone here, right? When you see the precision of the creation, when you see the universe, when you see the atoms, when you see the light, when you see, everything, right? When we look in ourselves, in our own bodies, in our own souls, we see miracles. We see the precision of the creation, which actually tells you about the description of the creator, right?
Yeah.
So we can actually figure that out using our minds. So when we say there is no proof, there is proof, there is logical proof, there is proof by the mind, but still you have to take a leap of faith, right? Because you are not going to be able, to control it the way you control the tangible. You are not going to sense it in the same way.
Here is something very interesting. I want to share that with you here, but because I'm inspired by you. Yeah, I had these moments in life when I want to get something, I want to achieve something. Even in school, I remember moments, and I had this belief that if I am a good human being and I'm following, kind of the standards of being a good human being,
Yes.
the universe, the God, whatever is there,
Yes.
is gonna make it happen for me in certain way. And
Yeah.
that for me was faith back there,
Yes.
It was
yes.
like, I want to get it, and I deserve it because I'm a good human being. So
Yeah.
in a way, the universe, God, it will bring me something
Sure.
which is
Sure.
gonna help me. So that for me is help. I don't know what is it.
Yes. Yes.
And I just want to, before we go to the next subtopic, I want to ask you one thing, and then we're gonna talk about it maybe later. But tell me, when it comes to faith, because I believe that there are two type of people. There are people who believe that everything is in them and they have the whole power. That they are action-oriented people, very action-oriented people, and very
Yes.
frustrated people from time to time because they want to control everything, and there is no any faith there in something bigger. But there are
Yes.
also the other people who are okay. The universe will bring me everything, and they say do nothing. So
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
about that, because I believe that there is
Okay.
something not okay with both type of people, right?
Sure.
Because
Sure.
when it comes to faith, is it like only do you say, okay, I have faith and I'm gonna stay doing nothing,
Yes.
or
Yes.
is something else there? What do you think?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think you touched on two very important points, Dimi. The first one is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic, motivation, right? The difference
Yeah.
between faith and expectancy, right?
Mm.
So let me give you an example, right? You go to the gym, right? And you train for 1, 2, 3 months, and you don't find any results, right? How long are you going to continue? Okay. So you see that here, becomes the balance. The more you train without seeing results, right, the more you are depending on faith rather than expectancy. When you start to see results, it becomes a reinforcement, right? You saw results, you're doing it more, it's happening more, right? The kind of classical kind of behavioral model, right? The mouse pushes the paddle, and he gets the food, and he pushes it again and he gets the food again, right? That's the behaviorist kind of very simple model, expectancy, right? But tell me, someone who is acting, as you said, someone who is acting kind, who's making acts of kindness in life, right? And he's not seeing any return for it, he's not seeing any reward for it. He's actually being kind to people, and people are not being kind in return. Why should this person continue? Right? So that becomes faith, right? He's not seeing any results, and it's becoming long, and the test is becoming tough.
But
right?
he's taking actions.
Yeah, he is still taking action because he or she believe in what they are doing, right? They believe in the goodness of what they are doing, independent of the reward, right? If I got the reward, that's fine. If I did not got the reward, that's also fine, because I know that there will be a higher reward for that. I feel it's right. My intuition tells me this is the right thing to do. It's right to do acts of kindness, for people, right? So that's what you're speaking about, the difference between faith and expectancy, because a lot of our actions are driven by expectancy, right? I'll work harder, I'll gonna get money or commission or what have you, right? It goes on. right? And life goes on like that. That's fine. But when we're speaking about faith, the thing that we really cherish and respect, right, is faith. And look, how do you measure faith, right? I would say you measure faith by the size of sacrifice that you are prepared to do for it. You see,
That's
the
well
bigger
said,
the
man.
sacrifice, right? You can say that, the stronger your faith is. The longer the time you stay without seeing any, tangible outcome, the stronger your faith is, right? So people sometimes spend their whole lives. They actually can lose their lives for a cause they believe in, right? What could be more valuable than a person's life, right?
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
But people are prepared to lose their lives for a cause that they believe in. This is the power of belief. This is the power of faith, right?
Yeah,
It will
yeah.
turn anything, that is very hard and very painful into something meaningful and something desirable, right?
And here is the difference.
Center, yes.
Here is the difference between faith and expectancy, as you said. And what I just want to finish this point, and now I will ask the next question.
Sure.
Is that for me, if you want to really live with faith and create stuff in the world in this way, the most important thing is that you don't have this expectancy, because the problem is, as I said, two things. First of all, if you take actions and you don't see results,
Yes.
the faith is going to help you. If you live from a place of faith, it's going to help you to keep going, and you're going to get results. I'm absolutely sure at some point you're going to different, as you said, higher, lower, whatever,
Yes.
you're going to get something out of it. And the other thing is that some people believe that only staying and having faith that something is going to give you something is also not okay with me, because what you want to do is go and do stuff which are in accordance to your beliefs and principles, and the universe will bring you whatever you need. But staying and just saying, I have faith, I'm not going to do anything, and the world will give me everything, that's for me, it's also expectancy. It's also expectancy, right? It's not faith, but expectancy.
Yes. Let me address this point as well, because it's very important, right? I think you've seen it, in coaching and in other, self-development, the concept of detached involvement, right? This, I think, is something that is based on a major life paradox, right? You want things, but you don't want to want things too much to be attached to them, right? How can that happen, right? That's the very tough equation to manage, right? So detached involvement means that you will do everything possible, within your power to achieve this thing without getting too attached to this thing, right? And in order to have of magic alignment, right, you have to have a very good alignment with your purpose, right? So, for example, you want to earn money. Okay. Right. So many people want to earn more money, but why? Okay. What's the purpose of this money? So if you put a higher purpose behind this money, like, I'm gonna want to be rich because I want to give away that much, right? I want to be generous, with others. I want to support my family and, education of my children, and so that if you hit your target, that's fine. You're going to be happy and you're fulfilling your purpose. If you don't, right, you don't blame yourself, because you've done everything you can and you're still working towards your purpose, and that there is someone who looks at you, who's someone who appreciates what you're doing. There's someone who will reward you in the end, if not in this life, in the next life. And that's the whole, you can say, a tough formula